Is that clear for everybody? So there's me Mr. Motivator speech done. Now let's get on with it. So don't look at anything, because I have one of my catchphrases is, transferring is not learning. So do you remember at school you had your text, and then you had your questions, and then you read the text, wouldn't you? And then you read your questions, and you've got to answer them. And what did we all do? We just look for the answer in the text and plonk. Is that learning? Of course it's not. If you're not using these little cogs in here, then you're not going to be learning. And so when I ask questions, don't look at the book. That's not learning. If you don't know, you don't know. But engage with me. So in Arabic, we have many words, and all of them fall into how many categories of word are there? There are 3 categories of word. So any Arabic word, of all they are, you're going to have to I'm going to research how many there are now, is they will fall into one of these categories. What are those categories? So the first one is nouns, verbs. Now, when you're learning a new language, you have to end up learning your own language, because none of us knew grammar. When I started Arabic, I couldn't even tell you what one of these was. And so we've got to learn a bit of English grammar for the sake of learning another language. So we've got these 3 categories of word in Arabic. So when I ask you, what's a noun? What comes up for you? A name. Example?
Chair.
Is that a name? That's what I'm going to call my next baby. I wouldn't be surprised these days, is it?
Idris.
No one else has been called Chair. Why? You know?
Idris.
Okay, Idris is the name of someone, yeah. Cherry. Yeah, we can. So, a name. What else?
A name of a place.
A place. Example.
London.
London. Excellent. That's a noun. Anyone else got an example? An object. Example. Book or the chair. Yeah. Okay. Good. Anything else?
An idea.
Oh, now we're getting. You're a bit of a philosophical one. You are. Okay. Give me an example.
Put me on the spot there.
But help her out. What would be an idea? What would be a noun?
Democracy.
Like democracy. Now, so we've got 2 types of noun in English. You don't need to know this. It's extra information. We've got concrete nouns, and we got abstract nouns. So what do I mean by concrete noun? Yeah, something you can touch. Here's the key. Something you can conceptualize in itself. So if I were to say to you all here right now, a cat. What's popping up between your 2 ears there? Muqaddam?
Picture of a cup.
Yeah, but what's your cat?
Black and white.
He's got a black and white one. Has anyone got a different colour in their head?
Ginger.
That ginger ones you've got to be careful of. This is my psychological test to find out who I'm dealing with this year. Anyone got a different colour?
Black cat.
A black. Mysterious. Okay. So the fact is that your brain has to conceptualise something, isn't it? Your brain doesn't like unfinished business. I say something, it wants to conceptualise. That's what's so amazing, because Allah taught Adam, what did he teach him? The names, isn't it? The names of things. And so as humans, we want to be able to conceptualise something so that we can grasp it, so that we can do something with it. And so we have concrete nouns, and then we have abstract nouns. What's an example of an abstract? Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention. So I used to play this trick with the kids in the madrasa, because I used to get bored, because, you know, they come up, read me their spara, you know, and then I'd be hearing the same thing, everything. I think, oh, I'm going to play a trick on these kids. It wasn't a trick, but I'd say to them, okay, kids, cat, and they'd do what you did. Then I say house, and they'd describe their house. Then I go, Allah, and they all go, ooh. And so some of them would say the Kaaba, for example. Others would see Allah's name written. The kid that you needed to worry about, it'd say light to me. And I went, oh, this kid. And that's interesting, because we're trying to grasp something. With Allah, we can't do that, can we? He's ungraspable, if that's a word, because he's bigger than what we can conceive. But our brain wants to do that. So a concrete noun, and then we have a abstract noun. What's an example of an abstract noun?
Freedom.
Freedom. So when I say freedom, what comes up in your head, everybody?
Peace. Peace.
But peace is, that's an abstract noun, that you can't conceptualize peace. You have to conceptualize something associated with it. So I saw a guy in a kilt. What was his name, that actor? Braveheart.
Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson in a kilt with a painted face going, freedom! You know? So I see freedom, I think of freedom and I associate something with it. That's an abstract noun. So if I said to you, love, what comes to your head? Pain, oh! that's abstract as well. See, I've learned a lot about you guys from doing this game. What you got?
Maybe a heart or something.
A heart. So Valentine's Day, innit? You got the heart. What else?
Your spouse.
Yes, Allah, newly married. Give you time, give you time.
Just because it's recording, I'm sure.
I remember we went into a shop once, me and my wife, on this road, you know, what's it called? The road where Daisy Grill is. What's it called? Lilycroft Road, is it? Went into a shop, this Asian shop with shoes and stuff, and they went, oh, you too sweet, it won't last. I was like, oh, okay. So, yes, your spouse, that's an association. Do you see that? What else you got? Anyone else?
Family.
Family. So you've got to conceptualise your family. So what you conceptualise is what you associate with that thing. Does that make sense? So that is an abstract noun. So we've got these two types. And that's why people argue over abstract nouns. If you think about it, democracy. When I think of democracy, I have been brainwashed. I think of the American flag. You know. And because everyone's saying, it's like, I conceptualise with love, love don't exist. You know, obviously had a broken heart. And they're going to be sort of adverse to it. While another person will go, oh yes, my husband or me dog or whatever it is, you know. Is that and so when you're discussing something, you're associating different things, like religion. If I say religion to you, that's a abstract noun. And some people say, oh God, please, no, don't talk about that. Another person will say, oh yes, religion. Yeah. Does that make sense? So that's really important. Now, what's a noun? A noun is, like you said, not wrong what you've said, but a noun is something that you can conceptualize, either directly or indirectly, and it can be the topic of a conversation. I.e., you can talk about it. So this is the way I define it. You go into a room of Auntie G's and you say to them, love. They say, like our Abid has said, broken-hearted. Because I've been slaving over my husband, I've been slaving over my children, they don't appreciate me. They can have a conversation about it. Does that make sense? So that is a noun because it can be the topic of a conversation.
Is it subject as well?
Yeah,
Subject matter, yeah.
of course. It's the subject that we're going to talk about has to be a noun. So if I walk into the in Sainsbury's, I walk into Sainsbury's and I've got this bad habit of reading the newspaper. Do you do that? You just flick over the first few pages of the Keighley News, for us it is. You'll see Telegraph and Argus for you lot. And then I see Muqaddam, it says there, your name. And what am I going to want to know next? I'm definitely reading that article. What's he been up to? And then, so you're the topic of the conversation. And so that must be a noun. Is that clear? So that's the subject of a sentence. Next, verb. What's a verb? An action, a doing word. These are the simple, we hear these. Give me an example. Running, sleeping, swimming, blah, blah, blah. They're not verbs. I'm going to explain why. For a verb is an action, like you've said, or a state. So if I say to you, Roger died yesterday, did he go, oh, I'm going to die? Was it an action? Did he action his death? No. It's a state that came upon him. Now, I know some Uncle G's that are trying to kill themselves because they've had enough. You know, I make this joke. I know one uncle, he's got diabetes, he's about 80 and he's knocking back iron brew every day. He's just saying, I want to go to paradise. I've had enough of this. I've had enough of my family. They can fight over me inheritance. You know, they go on Hajj and Umrah every year and they come back miserable because they didn't die there. No, he's literally trying to kill himself. But the problem is, the more he wants to die, guess what? The longer he lives. Do you know any uncles like that? They're the ones that stay in the mosque, and they're the ones that don't want these youngsters to come, because it's the only place they get some free, some peace time, and they're saying, we've got to do things for the kids in the mosque, and they're saying, you crazy, this is my safe haven. So a verb is what did I say? It's a action or a state, here we go, that has a subject. What do I mean by subject?
Focal point.
Someone or something doing it. So if I say playing, who's doing it? Someone or something. So it's an action, or what did I say? A state. Repeat with me. Active, remember, which has a subject, and it's in time. Don't worry, we're going to keep repeating, because you've got to be active. Don't start going off somewhere. Okay? Stay with me. Come on. Look me in the eye. Tell me you love me. It's a, what did I say? It's a action or a state which has a subject and it's in time. So if I said to you, don't worry, you're going to be practicing this. So this is all theory at the moment. Some of you might be very good at repeating what I say, but when I put you into the deep end, then we'll see, do you swim or not? So if I say to you, running is good for your health, running is good for your health, is that a verb? It is not a verb, because there's no subject. Who's doing the running? And when did it happen? So, and that's a doing word though, running. Do you see the problem? Yeah. So a verb is weaker than a noun. A verb is weaker than a noun because it needs, a noun can stand by itself. When I say to you a cat, you've got something to work with. But when I say ran, for example, ran, you need, who's doing it? When did it happen? So it's weaker than a noun because it's reliant on, it still needs his family. He can't stand on his own 2 feet yet. Does that make sense?
It needs context, doesn't it?
It needs context, and it needs extra things around it. So this one's a bit vulnerable, this guy. Okay, he needs his 2 parents. Subject, his daddy, and who's mummy? Time. He needs his mummy and daddy. He's still a baby. So that's a verb. Is that clear? Yeah. Then we have, what's a particle?
Something that needs to connect.
Yeah, I like that joining word. Something.
You need to connect that.
You connect it with something else. Anything else?
It supports the noun, doesn't it?
It supports. Yeah, good. So it doesn't fit it doesn't fit into that category. So you can't conceptualize it. Can't stand by. If I said, so give me an example. 2. If I said to you 2, what comes into your head? Oh no, not that 2. Yeah, T-O, not T-Do. What you got?
Nothing.
If I said to you the, you can't conceptualize it. And can I say I'm gonna the you? You can't. That's how you know if something's a verb. You can make it. I'm gonna the you or to you. It doesn't make sense. I'm gonna hit you. That's a verb. So a particle. It's like the nouns and verbs are like bricks. You know, you've got a wall. You need bricks. And the particles are like what? The cement. Do you need cement for a wall?
Yes.
No, you don't. Have you ever been I've been up. We live in Yorkshire. We don't need cement in Yorkshire. We can hold ourselves together. But it gives some extra support, doesn't it? And so particles come to give it a bit more solidity and enhance the meaning. But they're not necessary to the sentence. Does that make sense? Yeah. Now, that's all theory. So we need to go to the practice. So what I want you to do is, do you see on page 3, it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got it there. Have you got a folder there, Shafa? Yeah. Do you see page 3? You've got 5 sentences at the bottom. Do you see that? What you're going to do, we're going to do the first one together. This is a very artificial exercise because I'm asking you to identify Arabic terms to English sentences. So it's a bit of an artificial exercise, but it's just so we can get an idea of things. So each word you're going to decide, is it a verb or particle? So you put, if it's a noun, you're going to put N. If it's a verb, you're going to put V. If it's a particle, you're going to put P. So let's do the first one together. The. Does everyone agree with particle? Yeah. Maybe. I'm not going to give you the answer. Mother. Noun. Do you agree? Yeah. Maybe. Reads. Maybe. Remember the verb question, you say, who's doing it? Yeah. When's it happening? Yeah. The. Particle. Maybe. Quran. Noun. Maybe. Now, the other ones you're going to do, they're tricky. They're just to get you thinking. Don't worry, there's some of them you will not know. But have a go. And the way you can do this is, either you can attempt it yourself and then compare and discuss it, or you can do it with your partner. So that's 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. There's a 3 here. So you're going to be a 3, ladies. Okay? And then 2, and then 2. Okay? So argue with one another. I want you to differ. You can get really vicious if you want, but why do you argue? Because there's an emotional connection then. You won't forget it. You know, if you had an argument with someone, you won't forget it. And so it's important to disagree. So I'm going to pick on one of you. Not pick on one of you. I'm gonna, what's the word?
Pick on one.
And pick on you. Yeah? And then you're going to read me, I'm going to say the word and you're going to tell me what it is. And then we're going to see what the audience says. Okay, you ready? Okay. So, Arusa. First one, number 2. This. Particle. Arusa says particle. Computer says?
Particle.
Particle. Do you agree? Yeah. You're wrong.
Is it not a verb?
Well, no. I'm going to this you today.
Sorry?
I am going to this you today. Can you put a subject to it? Can you say, I thised today? So it's not a verb. Here's the point. I can understand why you said particle. It's perfectly understandable. Here's the rule. You ready for the catchphrase? You ready for my catchphrase? My third one today, I think. Anything that can replace a noun is a noun. So if I said to you, the dog is in the house, don't freak out. The dog is in the house. Could I say this is in the house?
No.
Yeah.
Could you?
I like
it. Point to it for us to know.
Good. Yes, but in terms of like if I said this is really good. This is really good. It's a topic. Yeah. Now, obviously it's referring to something. There's no doubt about that. It needs extra context, but it can replace a noun.
So what did you say before that?
Anything that can replace a noun is a noun. Or anything that can refer to a noun is a noun. You could say replace or refer. So, so, excuse me. You know when we say this house, what's this referring to?
The house.
So the house is what we call a clarifier. It's clarifying, it's giving you extra clarity what this is. So if I said to you, for example, the Queen, Elizabeth, what's Elizabeth doing? It's clarifying who the Queen is. A better example, how many brothers do you have? How many? 3, great. So if I come up to you, Muhammad Ali, your brother hit me yesterday, do you know which one did it?
Yeah. No.
You need extra clarity. Now, you may have a suspicion, but you can't assume. We need a proof. So, do you get the point? You have another word that brings clarity to it. It's ambiguous, so we need extra clarity. Your brother, which one was it?
Nu'man.
Nu'man. Your brother, Nu'man, hit me. Nu'man is a clarifier to your brother. This is the same thing. This is not nice. What's this? Bye or something.
What?
Bye.
Oh, right.
Yeah. You're saying, you're eating it and you're saying, this is not nice. Okay? Make sense?
When you say cousin, like what cousin? Like sister-in-law, which sister-in-law?
Yes. You need extra clarity. Yeah? So is it Amberine or is it Andala or... So, this is a, what is it?
No.
A noun. House, Arusa. Noun, do you agree?
Yeah.
Computer says?
Yes.
Ding. Okay. Is.
Particle. Sorry.
Either
Is.
Either Arusa can transmit her voice over here.
Sorry.
Oh, or you're a very good ventriloquist. So, yeah, let her do it. So this house is, you say particle. Yeah? What do you say? Computer says, it's a verb. Now this is a tricky one. All you need to know here is am, are, was, were. This is what we call the verb to be. To be or not to be, that is the question. So whenever you say is, what, is, am, are, was, were, you know it's a verb. Now there's a concept here when I'm teaching Arabic. People always, like wives use this against their husbands. They trap them with this. They say, so here's one, guys, this is to protect yourself. A wife will do this. She'll say, why do I have to repeat myself? I shouldn't have to repeat myself. If I repeat myself, you obviously don't care about me. And if you don't care about me, you don't love me, then what's the point of us being married? Now, that rule is, that's a complete lie, that. Because in Arabic classes, guess what? I have to repeat myself about 5 times every lesson. And if I went down that avenue, then I'd think everyone hates me. So don't let them use that one on you. It's a trap. It's not true. Tell them your Arabic teacher says it's not true. Don't believe you. You ready? So, I'm going to have to repeat myself on this because you're going to make this mistake. Is a verb. And what I find interesting, was and were. Down south, everyone's was. I was, you was, he was. And up north, everyone's he were, you were, I were. Isn't that strange? It's funny language, isn't it?
Correct, if at all correct. Which one would you say is correct?
No, they're both wrong. Because I was, you were. But we say down south, you was. You was here, I was here. And you guys all say, I were. And that's wrong. It's I was. You've got to think about that.
When you said you was, that didn't sound right at all.
Right. Yeah, that's because you're a northerner. To me, my southern ears, yeah, just think of EastEnders. It's like, it's music to my ears. It sounds right. And when I taught English, I was an English teacher, I made that mistake in my first lesson. I was teaching Moroccan students English and I put, you was. They said, sir, it's not was, it's were. And I went, that's what I like to see. You know, in the same lesson I spoke grammar with an E. And they went, sir, you spoke grammar wrong. And I went, that's it, you're paying attention. And I was like, how am I going to get through this lesson? Anyway, so is a verb, because the subject is what? Where's the subject of the sentence? This house. This house is. Okay? Wait. Go on. Particle, do you agree? Yes, that one's straightforward. You can't conceptualize it, You can't use it as a verb, you. So it's a particle. It's called an indefinite particle because it makes things indefinite, undefined. When I say to you, an apple, I'm not speaking about a specific apple, am I? I'm speaking about just an apple. It's undefined, sorry. So we have an indefinite article and we have a definite article. Definite being, what's a definite article in English? The. Okay, you're speaking about something specific now, aren't you? The dog's in the house. Which dog? Okay. You want specifics. Big.
So we initially thought noun, but I think it's a verb now.
So I'm going to big you. No, in Bradford you may be able to say that and get away with that. I don't know. But no.
Is it a noun?
What is it in English, big? It's a adjective. And adjectives, oh, it's gone now. Adjectives fall under nouns. Because in Arabic, there's no such thing as an inherent adjective. Doesn't exist. It's a subcategory of a noun. Okay, in Arabic, not in English. So you're right in the English, it's an adjective, but in Arabic, and that's why I said this exercise is artificial, because we're applying Arabic rules to English sentences.
So anything that would be an adjective, we think of it as an abstract noun.
Well, yes, don't go there, just say noun. Yeah. We're not, the abstract, concrete, forget that. Yeah, that's something extra. Just say it's a noun. If you see an adjective, what is it? A noun in Arabic. That's all you need to know. Building. Noun, do you agree? Yeah, that one's straightforward. You can conceptualise it, can't you? I see a building, and it's clear. Excellent. 3. Suhaib.
So that was a bit of a, I couldn't decide whether it was a particle or a noun. I went with a noun in the end.
Do you agree? Computer says, ding. Good. Because if I say his car, how many things have we got here? His car. How many things are here? 2 things. The car and him.
Yeah.
So it's a person, isn't it?
Yeah.
So his is referring to a,
Person.
and anything that,
People are, yeah.
well, that's not my catchphrase. Anything that, get my catchphrases right, I can get quite, you don't love me if you don't listen to me. Anything that refers to a noun or that can replace a noun, refers to a noun, is a noun. So his is a noun. We call it in English a pronoun. This is called a pronoun. So his is a noun. Messenger. Suhaib.
I went with a noun.
Ding. Well done. Okay. You can conceptualise it. The messenger. Something you can conceptualise. Called.
Verb.
Do you agree? Who's calling? The messenger. When did it happen? In the past. So when we say time, we mean past, present, or future. So called, it's in the past. It's a verb. These.
I went with a noun.
Do you agree? Ding! Why? What's these referring to? Anything that refers to it. Say it with me, be active, or it's not good. Anything that can?
Refers to a noun, or replace a noun, is a noun.
There you go, Rahima. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah? If you're not active, you're going off somewhere else. So it's important that you engage with me, that this is a part of learning. We've got to make learning fun again. Yeah? Not this drab, oh my God. This is all in your head. Yeah? Because I'm trying to be as entertaining as I possibly can. Unless I come dressed up in, I don't know, Barney the dinosaur or something, I don't know what else I can do.
I think you should.
Yeah.
For a week.
Then you might get in there. If Barney teaches you, yeah. Or Sesame Street, I'll bring puppets in for you or something like that. So, these is a noun. People. Noun. To. Particle. The. Particle. Religion. Noun. Of.
Particle.
God.
Noun.
Yeah.
Noun.
Noun. Happy? So, people, noun, to, particle, the, particle, religion, noun, of, particle, God. Now. Yeah? Everyone happy? Kenza. There she is. That. Noun. Do you agree?
Yeah.
You're listening to me. So why? That book. So anything that refers to a noun or can replace a noun is a noun. Yeah? Book. Noun. Oof, you just echoed then. Is. Did anyone put particle?
I did.
Yeah. Is, am, are. What are they? What's the verb to be? Is, am, are, was, were. Not. Go for it. What's your feeling? Go with your feeling. You're taking too long now.
A verb.
Verb. So I not you.
No. Noun.
Not. Can I conceptualise not?
Abstract.
Let's talk about not. So there's those Auntie G's and they're really bored, they want to talk about something. So you say not.
Oh, one not.
It's not a noun. It's a particle Not comes to negate something. And you can't, here's the rule, you can't conceptualize a negative. No, impossible. You can't conceptualize a negative. If you say, I'm not a cat, your brain will conceptualize what? A cat. Now, obviously you know it's not, but it's still you're going to conceptualize. Does that make sense? That's why they say in psychology, when you say to your child, when he goes to school, Putter, don't lose your dinner money. Lose your dinner money, lose your dinner money, lose your dinner money. So what would be better to say to the child? Look after your pocket, your dinner money. Look after, look after, look after. You can't conceptualize a negative. I don't know if anyone saw the movie years ago, Ghostbusters. Did anyone watch Ghostbusters when you were a kid? Do you remember they're on the top of that building at the end and the demon says, I'm going to appear in anything you imagine. Anything you imagine, I'm going to come in that form and kill you all. And so all of them try to clear their minds. Let's not think about anything. And then one of them, what does he do? He thinks about the most harmless thing he could think about, which was what? The state, no, well, it's not the Michelin Man, the State Puff Marshmallow Man. And it comes, do you remember that?
Yeah,
so the point is, you can't not think about something. And so you can't conceptualize a negative. That's why, what do we say? La ilaha. We negate, but then we have to affirm. That's why my mother used to say this. I don't know if it's really true, but she said, don't do meditation because you'll clear your mind. Who's going to come in? The devil. She used to say to me. So in Islam, we clear our minds, but then we've got to put something in it. We don't have this space that's nothing. Does that make sense? So affirmation is important.
So why is it not a particle then?
It is a particle.
So why is it a particle?
Because it just comes to serve the function of negating that thing. It's not something you can conceptualize. You can't conceptualize a negative. There's another catchphrase for you.
So it comes to serve what?
It comes to negate the thing, but you're still thinking of the thing. Particle. You look tired. Particle. Oh, sorry. Who's doing this? It's so beautiful.
Noun.
Noun. Do you agree? Why is it a noun? Well, it's an adjective. It's an adjective. All adjectives are nouns. One.
In the context, I thought particle.
Do you agree? I love this one. I really like this one.
I thought it was a noun.
It's a noun because when you say one, you're referring to something. This one is really nice. Clear? Anything that? Come on, get.
Sounds like a noun is a noun.
Well, I assume that's what you said it right.
Close enough.
Okay, next one, the last one now. Muhammad Ali, for you. Bismillah, go for it today.
The noun.
Noun, do you agree? Yes. Some people said verb in the past because they're thinking time. But no, a verb needs time. It's not time itself. Today's a topic of conversation, isn't it? Today, oh, it's grim. Yeah. Today is, oh, it's lovely. Yeah. Whatever it is, you're going to talk. Can you talk about today? Yeah. Is. Shh.
Verb.
Verb, do you agree? Muhammad Ali, you listen to me. You must love me. You told me you love me, and I believe you now.
Particle.
Particle, do you agree? Yep, great.
Noun.
A noun, do you agree? Because it's an adjective. And adjectives are nouns. Day.
Noun.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yes? Where are we? When? Oh, this one's a tricky one.
Particle.
You say particle. Anyone say anything different? We've got all three here now. So, let's go with verb first. I when you. Can you say that? I when you.
I thought because it was talking about when something's going to take place, as in time.
So it's a?
Verb.
No, verb is not time. Verb needs time.
You can say when you was or something.
Yeah, but the was is the verb there.
When you.
So now, if I said to you, when do you study Arabic? When? Wednesday. So when's referring to Wednesday, and Wednesday is a noun. It's a day, so it's a noun. So anything that refers to a noun is a noun. I can see some people's heads. The little ball bearing hasn't gone down the hole yet. Okay, it's like, yeah. And then it suddenly goes, oh. So just do a bit of this. It might go down. You got it? Mm-hmm. Now here's a symbol, like when, what, how, where, why. All of these are
No, they're not nouns.
nouns.
Sorry,
What,
can you repeat that?
when, why, what, when, why, what,
When,
how, why, how. She's giving them all.
what, when, why, how, and then
Where.
where,
These are all
nouns.
the question markers. Yeah, because they're referring to something. What is this? This is a mouse, for example. What is referring to the mouse? You're asking about it.
What about how then?
Yep, same thing.
You're not really referring to something.
Yeah, you are, because you say, how are you? I am fine. Fine is a noun. Yeah. All you need to know is that all the question markers, apart from most of 90% of them anyway. The particle, truth.
Verb.
I truth you.
It's a noun.
It's a noun.
Noun.
An abstract noun, isn't it?
Yeah, abstract. Yeah. Truth. Well, your truth is not my truth.
Yeah,
You
we
know,
all know our own definition of it, aren't we?
will. Now it's going to get tricky here. Will.
Verb.
Control yourselves.
Yes.
Huh?
Verb.
Verb.
I agree with it.
Do you agree? You got noun? In English, will is a verb. It's called a modal verb, like can, will, might, may. These are what we call modal. You don't need to know this, but in Arabic, will is a particle. It's coming to support the verb to put it into the future. I will do this. Yeah. This is just me being difficult with you. It's a particle. Appear.
No, but actually, will is a verb, isn't it? In English.
In English it is,
Yeah.
but we're doing Arabic.
Okay, but yeah.
On English.
You've got that's just confusing.
No, this first lesson, it's just to get you used to the concepts of noun verbs. Don't start getting too complicated, you know.
You've got English words there, and you're telling me.
In life,
In other
just accept what I say.
I think that's one of the things, is to put your English brain aside and understand whether you're using the English grammatical rules
Yeah.
to explain.
That's why I said forget is one of the first rules of learning. You've got to forget everything you know and listen to me and just take it. Okay, I know what I'm doing. Last one, appear.
Noun.
Verb.
Verb.
I.
Appear.
It's a state, isn't it? I appear. Okay, so what we're going to do is in the revision lesson, we're going to do more of that to reinforce it. And in the next lesson, at the beginning, we're going to do more of it. So I always do this. I do a 3-step process of going over things. Like, don't think, I don't get this. You're not supposed to always get things first time. Stop thinking you have to. I'm not your parents putting pressure on you or your school. Is that learning is a process of just simmering with, sitting with something and going, ooh, and then eventually it gets in. It's like a bike. You read the theory and then you sit on it, but you've got to do it time and time again. And eventually you get the feel for it, don't you? It's not something that you've got to always work out logically. You just start to feel it after a while as you expose yourself to it. Okay? So it's all about exposure. Don't walk out of here and just say, I can't do this. This is too complicated. Didn't understand it. I got some wrong. So, there's nothing wrong with getting things wrong.
So are we going to be doing maths then as well?
This is maths. It is.